Welcome to the law offices of Chris M. Ingram. Let's get started. Immigrating to the U.S., it really involves meeting a pretty specific set of requirements, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And for so many people, that whole idea of the American dream, pursuing a better life, it's a huge motivator.
Absolutely. And our team here, we're really focused on helping families, make that dream happen. So think of this chat as maybe like an initial immigration consultation. We're going to explore the different ways, the different avenues available.
Yeah, just to help you get a clearer picture of what your path to the United States might actually look like.
Right. And one of the very first things, the big questions we usually ask is, do you have an immediate family member who's already a U.S. citizen? Like a parent, maybe a sibling who's over 21, or even a child who's over 21 who might be willing to sponsor you?
That's absolutely the starting point for many people. If you have those direct family ties, it really opens up a primary pathway to getting a green card. And the green card, that's the permanent resident card, right? Allows you to live and work here permanently.
Exactly. Live, work, even retire eventually. But what's interesting is how the specific relationship impacts the wait time,
Okay, yeah. Let's dig into those timelines a bit. So, for instance, an American citizen child over 21 sponsoring their parent. What does that look like generally?
Well, that one's usually one of the faster routes. In most cases, you're looking at less than a year. The system tends to prioritize reuniting those close family members.
Okay.
And it's similar if you're a child under 21 and your U.S. citizen parents are sponsoring you. Again, probably less than a year.
That makes sense, keeping families together. But what if it's the other way around? U.S. citizen parents sponsoring their child who's over 21.
Yeah, that's where things slow down quite a bit. In that case, the wait could easily be more than 7 years.
7 years, wow.
Yeah. And if it's a U.S. citizen sibling over 21 sponsoring another sibling, you could be looking at, more than 10 years, potentially quite a bit more.
Okay, 10 plus years. That's a significant wait.
It is. It really reflects the annual quotas and how different categories are prioritized.
So it's really important for listeners to know these are just estimates, right? Things can change. Where can they find the latest official info?
Definitely. The U.S. Department of State publishes a monthly visa bulletin. That's really the go-to source for the most current updates on processing times and visa availability.
We should probably mention the link. It's travel.state.gov, visa bulletin 1360.html.
Good idea. And because every single case is different, we always suggest reaching out for a personalized assessment. That's the only way to really understand how these timelines apply to your specific situation.
Makes sense. Now, what if those direct family sponsorships aren't really an option? What's another big way people look at family-based immigration?
Well, marriage is another major one. Marriage to a U.S. citizen.
Right. How does that usually play out?
So if you're married to a U.S. citizen, your spouse can sponsor you for that green card. The process typically takes somewhere between, say, 6 and 12 months.
6 to 12 months. Okay.
And you can usually start that process whether you're living inside the U.S. or outside.
That sounds quite a bit faster than some of the other family routes we mentioned. But our sources really stress, even with marriage cases, it's maybe not wise to try and handle it all yourself.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, it might seem straightforward on the surface, but immigration law is full of complexities, potential pitfalls, even in marriage cases.
Right.
Trying to do it alone can lead to delays, mistakes, unexpected problems. And honestly, trying to clean up mistakes made earlier is often way harder and more expensive than doing it right the first time.
Yeah, I can imagine, like a stitch in time saves 9 kind of thing.
Exactly. That's why we really, really recommend getting a detailed consultation before you even think about filing anything.
Good advice. Okay, what about people who are engaged to a U.S. citizen but not actually married yet? Is there something for them?
Yes, there is. That's the K-1 fiancé visa. It allows a U.S. citizen to sponsor their foreign fiancé to come to the U.S. specifically to get married.
Okay, the K-1. How long does that take?
The application process itself is usually around 3 to 9 months. But then once the fiancé enters the U.S., there's a strict requirement.
Which is?
They must get legally married within 90 days.
90 days, that's a tight window.
It is. So again, because of those specifics, talking it through in a consultation beforehand is really the best approach.
Okay. So those cover the main family routes. Let's switch gears now and talk about employment-based immigration, another big stream.
Definitely. This is key for people looking to immigrate based on their job skills, their qualifications. The U.S. has several employment-based green card categories, often called EB visas.
Right, EB visas, like the EB1.
Exactly. EB1 is the first preference. This is generally for people with, extraordinary ability, top people in science, arts, business, athletics, also outstanding professors, researchers, certain multinational managers or executives transferring here.
And there's a limit on those, right? About 40,000 per year?
That's correct. Around 40,000 annually for EB1. Then you have the EB2 category.
EB2, second preference. That's more for people with advanced degrees, masters, PhDs, law degrees, that sort of thing, or exceptional ability.
Precisely. And EB2 also has an annual limit around 40,000. After that comes EB3.
EB3, third preference. This one seems pretty broad. It covers professionals with bachelor's degrees, skilled workers needing at least 2 years of training, and even other workers.
It is broad and very common. It also has that 40,000 annual limit. But the issue here is demand. We often see pretty significant backlogs in the EB3 category.
Meaning the wait times can get quite long.
Yes, exactly. Demand often outstrips the supply of visas, leading to longer waits for many people applying under EB3.
Okay. Now, separate from the green cards, there are temporary work visas too, like the H-1B.
Right. The H-1B is very popular. It's for people in specialty occupations, usually requiring at least a bachelor's degree.
And that one has a quota too, doesn't it? The 65,000 released April 1st. And it goes fast.
It goes incredibly fast. It's highly competitive,
Wow.
and securing H-1B sponsorship while you're outside the U.S. can be particularly tough.
So how do people usually navigate that?
Often, a common route is to come here first on an F1 student visa. Study here, maybe get some practical training after graduation, and then try to find an employer willing to sponsor the H-1B.
Ah, okay. So the F1 is often a stepping stone. Now, what about for people who are really like stars in their field? Is there another option?
Yes, the O1 visa. This is for individuals with extraordinary ability, again, sciences, arts, education, business, athletics, proven by national or international acclaim.
O1?
A big advantage of the O1 is there's no annual numerical cap, no quota.
No quota. That's significant.
It is. It can be a good path for, say, high earners, maybe over $150,000 in corporate jobs, or people with leading roles in fields like film, media, entertainment.
Interesting. Okay, so we've covered family and employment. What if someone doesn't quite fit those? Are there ways to sort of sponsor yourself?
There are indeed. One important one is the E2 investment visa.
E2, the investor fees.
Right. This is for people from certain treaty countries who invest a substantial amount of money, typically $100,000 to $250,000, sometimes more, into a real U.S. business that they'll actively manage.
And this could work even without a degree or a job offer.
Potentially, yes. It's an alternative route for those without those family or job sponsor options, and maybe without a bachelor's degree.
We also touched on the EB1 green card earlier with employment, but that can be self-sponsored too for the truly exceptional.
That's correct. If you have that documented extraordinary achievement and you meet the specific criteria, maybe a major international award, or you satisfy 3 out of 10 specific categories, you might qualify for an EB1 green card without needing an employer sponsor.
Those sound like complex cases.
They are. We've helped many clients with these. They require really intensive work, meticulous preparation, and a strong partnership with the client. But it can be done.
And we should also bring up the F1 student visa again here, right, as the self-sponsored first step.
Yes, definitely. The F1 itself is self-sponsored. You come to study. While there are work limits initially, you can potentially work later, and the post-graduation optional practical training, or OPT, gives you that year of work experience.
Which could then lead to H-1B sponsorship.
And potentially a green card down the line. Exactly. It's often part of a longer journey.
Okay, wow. So just to quickly recap the main pathways we've discussed. We've got family-based options, relatives, marriage, the K-1 fiancé visa, then employment-based, the EB1, EB2, EB3 green cards, plus temporary visas like H-1B and O-1.
Right.
And finally, self-sponsorship routes like the E2 investor visa, the EB1 for extraordinary ability, and the F1 student visa as a potential starting point.
That pretty much covers the main streams. It's a really diverse landscape, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And navigating all of this complexity, well, that's where getting experienced legal help becomes so important.
It really is critical. U.S. immigration law isn't just complicated. It changes frequently. Procedures, rules, deadlines, they all shift.
Yeah. And having a knowledgeable immigration attorney, someone who knows the ropes, can be vital. They ensure everything's filled out correctly, submitted on time.
Which drastically cuts down the risk of delays, or worse, denials, just because of some technical mistake.
Plus, everyone's situation is unique. An attorney can look at your specific circumstances and help figure out the best strategy for you.
Exactly. Personalized advice on which visa makes sense, how to approach the green card process, what steps lead towards eventual citizenship. It's not one size fits all.
And they can spot potential problems ahead of time, right? Red flags you might not even see.
Absolutely. They can identify challenges and figure out how to address them proactively. And importantly, they advocate for you, whether it's dealing with paperwork or representing you in interviews or hearings.
It must provide a lot of peace of mind knowing you have a professional guiding you through it all.
It really does. It lets you focus on the other huge parts of immigrating, settling in, finding work, building your life while knowing the legal side is being handled properly.
And sometimes they offer support beyond just the legal forms, too. Maybe connecting people with resources.
Good ones do, yes. They can sometimes point you towards community organizations or offer advice on just adjusting to life in a new country.
So for anyone listening who's considering making the U.S. their home, navigating this complex system,
we strongly encourage you to reach out.
visit the law offices of Chris M. Ingram at breakthroughusa.com. Attorney Chris M. Ingram and his whole team, they specialize in this. They offer personalized care, expert guidance through every single stage.
Helping you achieve that American dream.
Exactly. Don't let the complexity or the uncertainty hold you back. Taking that first step, exploring the services offered by the law offices of Chris M. Ingram today, that can make all the difference. Secure your future in the U.S.